Hey, my name is Alyssa, and I'm a freelance graphic designer and art director, and today we're going to be talking about March Mockup. So you might be wondering, what is March Mockup? March Mockup is a month-long challenge started by my good friend Gina at Sterling Studio on Instagram, and each week is a different challenge, a different prompt with the mock-up that you'll be designing for. So this year the challenges included a phone screen, a CD packaging, a book cover, a small box, and a tour poster. I thought it'd be fun to walk through the designs I did for each of these throughout the month and talk about the process more in depth. With week 1, which was the phone screen. During this week, I was going through a lot of big decisions and wanted to convey that in this phone screen design. I had the phrase, "if not now, when," stuck in my head for weeks before this, and I thought it was the perfect phrase for this design. I had found these inspo images to start off of, and then I decided to design in Figma since it's a digital piece. I played around with the shapes and type, exploring options where the shapes were just outlines or more fuzzy. Once I had 3 options that I liked, I put them into this mockup from Bendito Mockup, which was completely free to download, and we love that. I like to post everything online in like a 10:8, 8:10 ratio, so I made sure to crop it to that size before posting. And here's the final design. For week 2, I felt like I was getting more into the groove and just wanted to make things for fun and for artists that I actually have been listening to. So this week was CD packaging, and I did 2 designs, one for Black Pumas and one for Ashniko's song Worms. For both of these, I started by doing some visual research on the artists to see what kind of graphics they typically use, like what colors they use and any other information that I could find on them. And then from there, I started sketching my ideas in Procreate first. For the Black Pumas, I liked the idea of a running puma. They use a lot of puma illustrations in their existing artwork, with their record vinyl covers and everything. So I wanted to take this idea of a running puma as a frame animation that could look like it was moving as the CD would spin on a CD player. So I referenced a lot of running puma images, drawing 3 different points in the run cycle, and then I added this wavy background behind it, kind of like dust kicking up behind the running puma. And then for the Ashniko one, I did a similar process where I started with sketching. I liked the inspiration of a half and half split design, and I pulled from the lyrics of the song for the graphics. So in the song she says the world is burning, so I wanted to incorporate these blue flames among the worm typography. So you can see that the worm, the word worms is kind of looks like worms, and it's amongst this cool flame graphic. I added both of these designs into the Studio AAA, or Album Archive, as some people know it. They had a mock-up that was provided for free, again, as part of this challenge, and I added in all the final details, like the type, textures, and final effects. Now we move on to week 3, which was a book cover. So during this week, I was pretty short on time, so I had an idea to repurpose an old design that I had done into a new one with this week's book cover. I made this Mother Earth poster and illustration a couple of years back, and I've really liked it since then, and I thought it'd be cool to take this and elevate it to a new level. So I took the hand-drawn type and used it as an image mask instead of just the type being the type. And then I incorporated the mother like typography and added in a lot more details. So for this one, I designed it right into the Mockup smart object just to make everything fast and seamless. Week 4 was small box, and I had a lot of ideas that I wanted to try out this week, but yet again, I only had so much time. I thought that redesigning a tofu box was the most fun after ideating a little bit, with it being a product I regularly buy and I haven't seen it redesigned before. This was another one where I started out with the mock-up first. So once I found the one I liked, I downloaded it to find out what size I had to make the designs for each of the sides of the box. And then I made a separate design document to ideate and figure out what I wanted to do with the design. I decided on the typography first, and then I started adding in the colors and the little details that I pulled from the reference material. Once I had all of the sides designed, I added them into the mock-up and changed the colors around and got it exported to post. Week 5 was a tour poster. This is another week where I decided to do 2 designs, again based on artists whose music I love, but I didn't want to repeat the same artists I already did in the CD week. So I decided on Hozier and Joji, 2 artists that I actually saw in concert last year. So for the Hozier one, I started in Procreate again this time. I found these 2 references and really liked the idea of this bold, condensed, hand-drawn style type. I did all of this in Procreate and then even did a lot of the typesetting before moving it over to Photoshop to do the final colors and textures. For the Joji one, I started directly in Photoshop. I found this inspiration where the type was treated as a mask for the image behind it, and I really wanted to try out that idea. So after finding images of Joji online, that's exactly what I did. I found out that Joji isn't touring again this year and just has one concert in New York, so that's what I ended up putting in as the little like concert details in the text. As a side note, I designed both of these in my typical 8x10 size, but I ended up having to change the design around once I got around into the mock-ups because the size like didn't match up. So even though this is annoying, I don't always know which mock-up I want to use until I have the initial like design completed. So yeah, I don't know. If you like know you're gonna make stuff for a mock-up, I definitely recommend using the mock-up and like finding out what size it needs to be first, because I definitely had to move a lot of stuff around after opening the mock-up and finding out what size everything was, so yeah. And to recap, here are all of the completed designs. I really enjoyed this design challenge. It helped me not overthink my ideas and just make stuff that represents who I am and my interests, like purely just for fun. And yeah, I definitely recommend you guys check it out. Next year and any other design challenges are always fun to like contribute to, in my opinion. So make sure to like and subscribe if you like this type of video, and let me know your favorite design from the challenge in the comments. Bye!